Hey, good evening, everybody. I am Chuck Rogers, licensed professional counselor and licensed marriage and family therapist.
And I'm Keith Dunn, and I am a network engineer.
Network engineer 1 day a week, right?
Yeah, 1 day a week. No, actually, a little more than that. I do web design and branching out and doing all kinds of
Oh, man,
things.
and it's really exciting.
It
And
is.
together we're Tabletop Coffee.
Yeah, where we are bold and never ever bitter.
And tonight we're going to talk about. Oh, we didn't even title this one tonight.
No, we did not title this one.
What are we going to call it?
We're going to call it. I don't know what we're going to call it. How do you keep a relationship together when you're not together?
Or maybe is your marriage doomed? Stay tuned and we'll talk about it.
That's good.
Yeah, it is. This actually did come up for me this week, and I
Okay.
actually did tell somebody your marriage is doomed.
Oh,
I,
okay.
I did.
That's tough.
Yeah, at the end of last week, I received a message from Michelle, my office manager,
Okay.
office manager extraordinaire.
Oh, yeah, she
And-
definitely
Yeah,
is.
she's great. And I forgot to call the guy on Saturday, and plus I had an intensive on Saturday, and there really wasn't time.
Okay.
So I offered him 3 times on Sunday while I was driving to the Daily Bread, driving home from the Daily Bread, or after my nap on Saturday.
Yeah, you gotta get the nap in.
And so we talked on the way to the Daily Bread, and while I sat there in the parking lot for a while, and he unfolded his story for me about him and his family, and it had been a marriage of, I think, around 20 years or something,
Okay.
around that.
Right.
And not going well. That's why people typically, reach out to me.
Right.
And emotional, relational distance. He had been in a business where he is gone quite a bit,
Right.
which is not uncommon. People do
Yeah, they do
travel
that.
for a living.
Sure.
And things have become emotionally, relationally distant for quite some time.
Right.
And it was, kind of a last ditch effort, a reach out for help, and he began to tell me about all the places they'd lived and how little time he and his wife had been spending together for a very long time. And now comes this thing of, hey, I'm not sure I want to be married to you anymore, says the wife.
Right.
And so then he calls me, and I said, well, where are you now? And he told me where he was living.
Right.
And his wife was not living with him, but was living a long ways away.
Yeah. Right.
And I said, well, okay, how much longer is this going to be? And he says, about another year.
Okay.
It's going to be this way. And
Right.
there was going to be some contact in between, but it was not going to be good.
Yeah.
And I said to him, your marriage is doomed.
Okay.
I literally said that. I don't know if I've ever said that to anybody. And he
Right.
says, okay. And I went on to talk about it, and I said, your marriage is doomed if you're not going to change something.
Right.
And I felt really sad and terrible for saying that. But their relationship was at a real crisis point, and his wife had talked to him about leaving him. And I could throw myself into an intensive day or two with them,
Right.
but to what avail?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a
Yeah.
question on this. In order for this relationship to get to that point where you say it's doomed, what happens to get to that point? Or actually, in this case, what is not happening that gets to this point?
Well, they've been living apart
Right.
most of their 20-year relationship,
Right.
spending minimal to no time together. There hadn't been a lot of electronic conversations, FaceTiming. It just been two officially on paper married, but people living in very different places most of the time. So there hadn't been attention to the relationship in ways that it could have had attention. I don't think they did
Okay.
what they could have done.
Right.
And then, in addition to that, there have been some questionable behavior
Right.
on the part of this guy. It needed, if someone were here and they were bleeding in an emergent way, where do they
No.
go?
Yeah, they go to the emergency room.
Yeah. All else stops. All focus goes on this. You have to stop the bleeding
That's
or you're
right.
not going to last very long.
Right.
And this was kind of happening to their relationship. There'd been this slow bleed, and now there was this hemorrhage
Yeah.
that was taking place.
Right.
And it was not being handled in an emergent way. It was like, well, we're hemorrhaging now, but can you help us if we're not going to spend time together?
Right. So it's one of those things like we've talked about so many times in the past. You have to tip a domino
Oh, yeah.
in order to see change happen.
Yeah.
And if you're not willing to make those changes, how can it happen?
Yeah. And I said to him, are you willing to go be with her and to give up what you're doing? And he said, I can't give up what I'm doing. I
Right.
need to put in another year because of financial reasons.
Okay.
And I said, well, can she give up where she is and come and join you? Let's put in a day or two with me, maybe check in with me, but have her go be with you. And he said, oh, no, I guarantee you she's not going to come here and join me.
Oh,
And
okay.
so then I said, then your marriage is doomed.
Yeah.
Because we can work really hard for a day or two. There can be some good things to take place. But if you're not going to do what you need to do and have to do after that, I said it's going to be a waste of your time and it's going to be a waste of your money. And I apologize. He said, no, please don't apologize. That's why I'm having this conversation with you. I really wanted to know if you could help us. And I said, I can't, and I don't know of anyone who can, if the two of you aren't going to change your lifestyle at this point. Somebody's got to
Right.
change a lifestyle
Yeah.
for a while.
Yeah. I can see that. And I think that that's true in any of these relationships. I've known people through my life who have, been a truck driver or they've been in some type of business that takes them away and they're gone for weeks at a time.
Military does it too.
Yeah, the military does it. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I think those are unique situations, but they do happen quite often.
They do.
There are a lot of people in those types of businesses. But some of the people that I knew who were doing this type of relational or working and still having their marriage that was staying together, it worked really well for them because they were willing to put in that time.
Yeah.
And I think it goes back to that magic 5.5 hours.
Oh, yeah.
You have to spend time with the other person, even if you're not together and one of you or both of you are traveling in different directions. When you are together, you're making up for that time.
I would say so.
And I know you can do some things electronically, but you would really have to put a lot of time in to keep that relationship together that way.
Yeah. It's difficult, and I felt bad, and I feel bad even talking about it.
Yeah, I can
right
see
now.
it's weighing so heavy.
It really
on
was,
you.
and kind of is, as I
Right.
talked about using that strong language with him. But I was trying to jar him to say, one of you guys has got to do something different.
Right.
Because you're hemorrhaging right now. We've got to stop
Yeah.
this bleeding. And
Yeah.
I hope I'll hear from him someday. I don't know that I will.
Yeah.
So I hope that was meaningful for you.
Yeah.
I hope it was not discouraging, but I hope that it actually was encouraging and maybe giving a nudge
I think
of some
so.
kind to kind of
Yeah.
get people out of the ruts that they're in, to go, okay, if that's you, if that's us, we've got to stop this bleeding. We've got to do whatever is necessary, at least at this season of our life,
Right.
to make this difference so that our relationship is not doomed.
Yeah, you have to make a change.
Yeah.
There has to be a change.
Yeah, I hope it helped. If it did, would you subscribe? Because Keith would appreciate that.
Yeah, ding that bell so you're notified of upcoming episodes.
Make sure to like it.
Yeah, share it with your friends.
Thanks, everybody.
Until next time.
We start with Windhurst Counseling and Wellness at the Daily Bread on the fourth Sunday of every month.
No!
Yeah.
So you had a bunch of people sign up.
Oh, yeah.
How many people signed up? Do you
I don't know, 25, 30.
Oh,
Because
Wow.
some people wanted to bring their plus one, their spouse. Some people wanted to bring their kids. Got to be at least 16.
yeah. Right.
Like Catherine wanted to bring her husband and her 19-year-old.
Okay.
So we had a lot of people to say they wanted to be a part of it. Cindy Cummins, of course, she's going to bring Pete. I mean, so we obviously will have enough for once a month. We may be able to take over twice.
And y'all just take over the whole place.
It was cool because, Hope Co Church is great. I mean, and it's just, what if every church in Lynchburg says, we're going to pick one Sunday a month and dismiss and go serve the community?
I think that would be great.